Hello, my name is Justine Kincaid, and I'm an Instructional Systems Specialist at the United States Air Force School of Aerospace Medicine. I'm here today to talk to you about 3 of the 5 theory-based instructional design principles intended to reduce extraneous processing in multimedia learning. The 5 principles are redundancy, signaling, coherence, spatial contiguity, and temporal contiguity. The 3 principles that we are going to talk about today are the redundancy principle, signaling principle, and the coherence principle. Let's start with the redundancy principle. This principle suggests that learners learn better from graphics with narration as opposed to learning from graphics, narration, and on-screen text. This principle eliminates the extra material, thus reducing the extraneous cognitive processing by not overloading all of the learner's channels at one time. So here's an example. Let's say that I am teaching a basic instructor skills class and I want to talk about the cognitive counseling approach. The cognitive counseling approach principles are feelings that result from thoughts. How we think about something determines how we feel about it. Rational emotive counselors view people as being capable of both rational and irrational or illogical thinking. Our emotions are caused and controlled by our thinking. What we think becomes our emotion. Emotional disturbance result from irrational and illogical thinking, such as negative self-talk. If we can control our thinking, we can control our emotions. Self-defeating thoughts and emotions must be replaced. See how trying to read, look at the picture, and listen to my voice seemed like a little too much? Let's try the same slide without the on-screen text. The cognitive counseling approach principles are feelings that result from thoughts. How we think about something determines how we feel about it. Rational emotive counselors view people as being capable of both rational and irrational or illogical thinking. Our emotions are caused and controlled by our thinking. What we think becomes our emotion. Emotional disturbance results from irrational and illogical thinking, such as negative self-talk. If we can control our thinking, we can control our emotions. Self-defeating thoughts and emotions must be replaced. See how much easier it is to listen to my narration and view the graphic without trying to also read the on-screen text? The next principle is the signaling principle. This principle suggests that learners learn best from multimedia when there are cues that attract their attention to support essential processing. Using this principle, it can eliminate extraneous cognitive processing by giving the learner cues on what to process. Signaling can be simple. It can be as simple as words bolded or underlined to highlights, boxes, or arrows. So let's go back to our example of teaching a basic instructor skills course, and we were talking about cognitive approach to counseling. See how it's difficult to listen to me talk while you see this big paragraph? It's hard for the learner to process what they need to know as they are too busy trying to read the entire passage. So let's use the signaling principle to reduce the extraneous processing. So I want my students to focus on the bullet about negative self-talk. I have signaled to it to draw their attention so they don't have to waste the time and thought into searching the picture for what I want them to see. By doing this, it allows the learner to process the essential material or the material that they need to know and helps reduce the extraneous processing. And last but not least, today we are going to talk about the coherence principle. This principle suggests that learners learn best when extra material is excluded, as opposed to it being included. Removing extraneous materials eliminates the extra just for fun stuff and gives the learner the information that they need to know to reach the objective of the lesson. An example of coherence is if I was teaching about cognitive and show this slide that has all these pictures about the brain, but I continue to talk. Feelings result from thoughts. How we think about something determines how we feel about it. I never tie in the pictures that you see here on the slide. As a learner, you may find yourself looking at all these cool, fun pictures and trying to identify the correlation, more so than listening to me. Now look at the slide as I read the same few lines. Feelings result from thoughts. How we think about something determines how we feel about it. Doing this helps keep the student from searching for the tie-in and gives clear guidance as to what they need to know. So that's it for this video. We'll continue to explore the other principles in future videos. I hope this video helped clarify and give some examples of the redundancy, signaling, and coherence principle. Please let me know if you have any more questions or require further clarification.